I'm
This
sorry to
call is
interrupt
being
you Saturday.
recorded.
Now we're, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you Saturday afternoon. This should be a fun day, but I just wanted to check in with a few things for you. One detail out of all order that mentions that report that a first grader wrote about your idea and invention.
Yeah.
Do you still have that? I couldn't find it in any of the notes quoted, or it'd be lovely to see that if you still have it.
We still have an email about it.
Okay, but but not the report itself.
We have an email and then a picture of the girl holding the report. So I don't know if you can make out the text, but you can get the idea. It's got a picture of Lily. I'll send you. We have a ton of pictures. I should send you the folder with those.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures in all my researches. Yeah, it would have been, if it does exist, even a line that could be made out, it would be nice to be able to quote from that first grader's report. It just might be fun. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. So whatever. So we can start. I'm just curious, what, to Lily, what is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory?
Yeah. I remember my earliest memory was standing in a crib and holding on to some crib bars. I remember that moment. Yeah, for some reason. And that's the first thing I remember in my life. I'd been here a while, but just wondering if you have a first memory that sticks in your mind. And if you do, and if you don't, or if something down the line, if something occurs to you that you think is interesting, anything at all, you can always just drop me an email too. Just keep that in mind. Yeah. And never hesitate to give me a call. I'm retired from the newspaper, and I work out of my home office, so I'm just here a lot. And if I'm not here, I'm not here. But never hesitate to be bashful about calling me if you have a question or something that occurs to you that would be good to ask. We've talked about, and it's been written about in the notes, the night that you and your dad he was putting you to bed. I guess you were, and you talked about the adoption. By the way, I'm an adopted child too, so we have that kinship. I was adopted as a baby also. But I'm just trying to get the feeling of you. This may sound silly, but do you remember what color your bedspread was? Was it a lot of colors?
I remember it was like pink and purple.
Pink and purple. That's interesting. And your dad would sometimes tell stories, and he'd sing. He mentioned, and we talked about. I used to do this too, sing silly songs.
Yeah.
You enjoyed that? Did you sing too, or did he do the singing mostly?
He would usually do most of the singing, but I would kind of finish it off.
Okay. Now, we'll take this by time. When you're in school, do you enjoy school, or it's hard work?
I mean, there's some parts I like about school, some parts I don't. So.
Yeah, it depends on the subject too, I'm sure. I mean, you've written that there were aspects. You're good at spatial, and you're good at various aspects that has to do with mathematics, but others don't come too naturally to you. What, fractions, or? Well, you're beyond fractions now.
Well.
Let's see. What would you be doing algebra yet? Where are you in school? Let's see. I'm trying to put you.
Right now, I'm in Algebra 1.
Yeah. Well, I was terrible at algebra, so. But do you is it just something you just don't enjoy doing? Because you write several times about math and.
Well, I mean, I don't really like math because I'm not very generally good at it, which I guess is not really the best way to look at it. But
Well, there's a whole bunch of studies and things come. I was never good at math. I was a professor at college once said to me that I was the most unquantitatively inclined person he'd ever met. I don't know if you've run across the word quantitative yet, but it means I didn't like math, basically. But did you feel growing up? How did you feel? You had some doubts about yourself. You said, what am I good at? As every child growing up does. What am I good at? What am I going to do? Do you think these were doubts? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. This is just a chat, so we're going to go all over the place. Don't worry about that. I organize things.
Yes.
But you speak some Chinese, but you're not fluent in Chinese. Is that the way to put it?
Oh, no, I'm not fluent at all. I only know one sentence.
Oh. What sentence is that?
That would be like a basic starter to a conversation, like, 你好，我叫丽丽，你叫什么名字? Which is, I'm Lily. Like, like, hi, I'm Lily. What's your name? It's like, that's really all I know.
Yeah, well, I understand that. Again, like I know how to say I only speak English. I speak only English in about 8 languages. But in my travels as a reporter. But did you when you came upon the invention, it was, or the idea? I don't know if your father shared with you. There's a quote from Thomas Edison that I like, that we'd gone over. Now I'm trying to find it in my notes. Here we go. Yeah, take just a second. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. In other words, ideas are not worth much unless you put them to use. Well, that was Thomas Edison. He believed in putting everything to use, light bulbs and whatever. The value of your idea, I mean, your idea did, or the old quotation, I don't know if you remember, necessity is the mother of invention. In other words, inventions happen because they have to, because we need something. And it came about with your grandpa, who's having trouble spilling his coffee, I guess. Is he a coffee drinker?
Well,
whatever he was drinking.
Well, with my grandfather, like mainly water or.
Okay, but he was having trouble spilling it, and then I'm trying to get to the germ. I've read your Imageru, lovely presentation, by the way. All your presentations are quite impressive. But the idea, did the idea come to you when you watched him spill something once, or the moment of the idea? Do you recall how it came about? It's been some years now.
I kind of noticed it, like, one time I was having dinner over there and he spilled, and I kind of just realized that it was a major kind of issue for him.
Mm-hmm. And then you thought, and your father encouraged you to have ideas, when you asked what am I good at, he said you were a good inventor. Are there any other ideas you've had, or you often come up with different ways of doing things over the years?
Well, before the Kangaroo Cup, we came up with some inventions that some were actually like pretty good and some were just plain stupid. One of them was like a umbrella that doesn't turn inside out when it's really windy outside. And then like another one was a pillow for your nose. So that just gives you a spectrum on.
Well, that's the thing. Again, Edison, I have my mind on Edison at the moment, but he said, and I don't have the quotation in front of me, but he said something like regarding a certain issue, we haven't failed. We found 1,000 ways it doesn't work so far.
Mhm.
So he succeeded in finding ways it didn't work. And now you'd been to China. There are references. You came from China, obviously, as a baby. And there were references to now again, that note is not in front of me, but when you went to investigate having ceramic made of the Kangaroo Cup to China, you mentioned it was your third or fourth trip to China.
Yeah, I'd say it was like.
Because you'd been back there with your parents or with your dad. With your dad.
Most of the time it was just with my dad, but like sometimes, like very rarely, my mom would come.
Okay, but this is was this just well, sometimes it was business for your dad, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes it was tourism, just to see some places, right?
Yeah.
I've been able to travel a great deal in my work, but China I missed, and I've always been sorry. Closest I ever got was Hong Kong. Of course, that's part of China now. But what do you think of China? What did you think? What do you think of China?
It's really cool. I really like China, and they're kind of a little bit similar to the U.S. in terms of modernized cities. But it's also a lot different from the U.S. It's just a great.
A little better organized.
Yeah.
But you enjoy. So you enjoy going back, you see, and you will be going back from time to time.
Well, hopefully I'll be going back, maybe.
Well, I mean, we all have our hopes, but right now in the book, I'm just dealing with the very, very beginning, so I'm not asking about anything about the later times after the idea was come up. I was trying to get the book set at the start. And I haven't seen much mention of your mother has been an encouragement to you in this. Maybe some reference to that and something that she's done or to encourage you or whatever. Did you want to have that in there somewhere?
Well, she definitely supported me throughout all this, but she really didn't start getting involved until a little bit later.
Okay. It's just that at some point, and I know that this is your story and your dad's story, but at some point she should be in the book, just having saying something at some point, just to acknowledge the fact. But your father, as far as encouragement, was a major role. Your grandpa was encouraging too. I take it this cup helped him out a lot, just to start with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you had the let's see now. I'm sorry. Tell me more about your grandpa.
He has a very good sense of humor. So one time, my dad, he walks into my grandma and grandpa's house, and and my grandma says Joe is here, and my grandpa is like, who? And she says Joe, your son, he's here, and then he's like, oh, I like him.
Well, he had quite a distinguished career, a good career,